Game 2 of the current series. If you've not yet seen Game 1, you might want to go watch that first. There'll be a link in the description as well as in a button on the video. Game 2 now, between Slayer's Taeja and TSL.Polt in the round of 16 at Assembly. Held this last weekend, in the last weekend of February. Now in this game, once again obviously TVT. Polt spawning as the red Terran up in the northeast position or the 2 o'clock position here in Core Hall Compound, while Taeja, blue Terran, spawned down in the southwest position or the 8 o'clock position. Now Core Hall Compound, that's a new map for me. I've not seen it in a tournament before Assembly.
Yeah, Assembly, I believe, is the first, and I'm sure our one viewer will correct me on that.
Now, I question this map's name. I mean, Core Hall Compound, but it's kind of a jungle tile set.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful recovery since Starcraft 1.
They've come a long way from the, nuclear Armageddon of what took place 4 years before Wings of Liberty.
Yeah. Taeja adding a supply depot in his mineral line or behind his mineral line, Polt putting it at the top of his ramp. Taeja starting his barracks. Just sort of in his base, not really worrying about walling off this game, I guess.
Yeah, whereas Polt is walling off with his barracks for supply depot. Now, one thing to note is the players did swap colors relative to the first game.
Oh, yes they did. I apologize in advance for just butchering names. I'll just start calling it red versus blue. Why are we here? Polt again just barely starting the supply depot before moving out with his scout SCV to finish his ramp. Wall off.
Yep, Taeja's SCV arrives just in time to see the barracks complete. It starts attacking that supply depot, but is not going to kill the supply depot, as Polt has continued its construction with the SCV that was building the barracks. Tried attacking the SCV, got a bit of damage in, but not going to kill it. And now Taeja's SCV is leaving. Meanwhile, Polt's SCV got up into Taeja's base, but is now being chased off by a Marine. He sees Taeja take purely expand. Yep.
Still no gas by the player.
Yep, and Polt is gearing up to take his own gasless expand. Yep, there it goes. So once again, mirroring each other's builds.
Yeah. Well, this also helps me personally understand the not walling off that Taeja was doing. He's gonna be having that more forward, I guess. Polt grabbing gas. And Taeja grabbing gas as well.
Now Polt drops 2 more barracks. And Taeja's in the same, so yeah, complete mirror of builds this time. As to be expected, they're both just going to go for, quick expand, get a lot of minerals, get a whole lot of Marines out.
Yep. Tech Lab's going down at almost exactly the same time. Orbital upgrade getting started at Taeja's natural. Polt's command center there is not yet completed. Just completed.
Yeah, about a 10-second difference in their expansion is the most substantial difference so far. Just a slight timing difference.
Yep. They even have their mirrored Marines standing up the towers watching one another. Looking across the DMZ.
Yeah, I was about to say that have these guys done service? Don't they have mirror things across the DMZ? Where there's a American or South Korean soldier on one side and a North Korean representative on the other.
Yep. They get to sit there and look at each other. Small group of Marines moving up for Taeja across the map. Just 4 of them. Uh-oh. Looks like they're about to violate some treaties. They're taking this tower.
Yep, Taeja coming up from the south.
Although Polt poking back with another group of Marines, Zone 10 to meet these 4. It's gonna be bad news bears for at least one of them.
Marines down to 15 health,
Oh.
9 health, and gets away.
Oh. Very close for that guy. Meanwhile, everything else seems to be pretty mirrored. Looks like shields are going to get done about the same time. Taeja's ground attacks upgrade is going to be a little bit ahead.
Both sides have dropped their factory around the time you started saying that.
Yeah, both factories about the same time as well.
Lone Marine going to get caught by Polt's hit squad as it was scouting around the northern side of the map.
Yeah.
Both sides just gearing up for more. Oh, Taeja drops his starport. Oh, so does Polt.
Yep.
What was I thinking they were going to deviate?
Yeah, Polt staying about 7 supply ahead. Nope. I spoke too soon. Now 2 supply. But he does get supply blocked for a second there.
Now Taeja drops a scan, sees that Polt is doing exactly what he is.
It's actually just a conspiracy. Polt has a giant mirror on top of his base.
Polt is moving out with an SCV. Is he gearing up to take a third here? That's what it looks like. Yes, he is. Taking a third at the 11 o'clock position.
And he's got a Marine to watch for when Taeja grabs his third.
But Taeja has not yet moved out to take such a third.
Nope, and he hasn't started a command center in his base yet.
Yeah, the army counts, by the way, are 49 SCVs for Taeja to 48 for Polt, 2 medevacs for either side, and 40 Marines for Taeja and 37 for Polt. So, pretty much absolutely mirrored in every way possible.
Yep. We'll see that start to split up a little bit after this command center finishes.
Yep, Taeja loads up some Marines into his 2 medevacs. That's medevacs to break off from the rest of the group. Oh, Polt's Marine saw it, barely. Saw one of the medevacs anyway.
Yep.
But Taeja's continuing forward with both of them.
One turret getting dropped near the line. It's not going to be done in time, but it looks like Marines will have enough time to get here.
Yep, 5 Marines stem up.
Take some shots at one of the medevacs, gets down to 2/3 health.
Taeja, once again, violating treaties with that northern watchtower. Taking control of it.
Yeah, Polt doing a good job of keeping all of his army together. I guess Taeja is now as well, now having the medvacs rejoin his main force.
Polt now has that third saturated. It's also just now finishing turning into a fortress.
Taeja's just starting building his command center for a third.
But he's not building it on the spot, he is building it by his natural. Now Taeja is moving north with a medevac marine force, just 1 tank in there.
One of Polt's watchmen dies. I don't know exactly where Taeja's army is. And the Marine at the Zelnaga Tower dies yet again. It's a very bad post.
There comes Taeja towards Polt's third. His tank does not yet have siege mode. It will be done fairly soon. The Marines stem up and are moving forward now. So they're stepping, getting all of them in range of the planetary fortress quickly. But Polt has his own Marines and they chase him off.
Disengage it. All the SCVs get pulled and just repair all the damage that was done.
Now, neither side took many losses there, just a quick poke in. His Taeja's medevacs have plenty of energy to make up for that stem.
Yep. Taeja is starting production of a Viking.
And both players now starting their, or Polt is starting his 2-2, Taeja is just starting his +2 weapons. for his infantry, that is. While Polt's also getting +1 vehicle weapons.
Taeja moving one SCV out to the
Marines
southeast side of
stemming
the
up,
map.
catching Taeja's forces slightly out of position. Also, there's some tanks for Polt. Taeja just runs out of there, doesn't want to be in range of those tanks.
Taeja supply blocked. 177.
Polt moves his tanks up again, sieges, catches a few of Taeja's Marines in range. He's getting a bunch of free damage on Marines as Taeja repositions here. He has 3 of his own tanks in this group as well. More of Taeja's forces about to move right into into Polt's forces, and they stop right in time.
Yep,
that was
tanks
almost a
get a couple of free shots off though. Taeja's still at 177. Landing is 3rd though. Polt supply blocked at 193.
Yeah, Taeja's supply blocked for quite a while there, 177, and now it goes up to 185, and is instantly supply blocked there.
Yep.
Now moving a few Marines into Polt's line. Might have been a miscommand. It seems to simply lose them for free. Now Polt's standing up and charging into Taeja's forces. Doing some massive damage here. Destroying Taeja's forces in the north. Taeja's down at 134 supply to Polt's 180.
Yeah, this is just terrible for Taeja. His army was basically split into 3 different chunks, and he gave one of them away. And then Polt just killed another, so...
Yeah, a large portion of Taeja's army was stuck between Polt's natural and Polt's siege line. And then that little miscommand just completely opened the window for Polt to crush him, then he did.
Yeah, immediately jumping 50 supply ahead. He's now about 40 supply ahead. As Taeja remusters. Polt building another command center at his 3rd.
Polt just about to supply cap himself up at 195.
Oh, also building another command center.
Still at 160, and he's moving south with his force. Taeja stems forward, tries to catch some tanks on siege, does not quite get the kill on a single tank, but takes a ton of Marine damage from the tanks that are then sieged. Another slight loss for Taeja.
Yeah. He just has a small army right now and isn't doing himself many favors maneuvering-wise. Oh, a couple of tanks getting some shots off. But loses vision that was provided by a scan.
You have the siege lines set up near Taeja's 3rd here.
Polt also doing a good job of just having a single Marine standing out in places so that he knows if any drops are coming anywhere. Moving to land his 4th.
Yeah, both sides have employed that tactic with Marines, got CB here and there, missile turret here and there. Yeah. They both have a lot of vision across the whole map.
Polt is max at 200. Taeja's 196.
Polt has a couple of medevacs and a few Marines moving around the north. He's about to run into Taeja's larger army. He does, and starts running away.
Once again split up, though.
But Polt now moving back from his position outside Taeja's 3rd, moving up north, ready to defend. Now Taeja's force here is going to run into Polt's 4th that was just about converting, and it's going to catch the command center. It lifts but dies anyway.
Polt's army. Well, looks like it's not quite going to catch Taeja's. Just both armies sort of dance around the map. Taeja rejoining all of his forces together in the middle.
Now, Polt does have an advantage in the upgrades. He's going to be at 3-3 sooner.
And he starts rebuilding that 4th on the site. Even though he has 2 command centers sort of in the middle of his base. Not doing anything.
Taeja just now starting his +3 armor. His +3 weapons about a 3rd of the way done. While Polt's are just about to finish on both counts. He also has an extra vehicle weapon upgrade, sitting at +2 as opposed to +1.
Yep, armies sort of poking at one another with a couple of stim Marines taking some shots from siege tanks. Taeja's the only one here with Vikings, though, so we'll see if he can use the vision advantage. The vision to his advantage. Polt building more command centers.
Yeah, both sides on sieging and moving on east again. Now TSL is pushing north.
Polt has 5 medvacs full of Marines moving in on the west side of the map.
Meanwhile, his Marines
So
have
they're
stemmed up
south.
and are moving in on this forward planetary fortress outside of Polt's corner of the map, his main and natural.
2 of those 5 medvacs get shot down by missile turrets before they can unload any of the Marines. But the other 3
have unloaded, the Marines are now doing damage.
Yep, S.Taeja's supply blocked by losing some supply depots.
Marines are now moving in towards the production facilities. They're catching the engineering bay. They stop 1+3 upgrade at the engineering bay. They stop both +3 upgrades. Securing Polt's upgrade advantage. 3-3 to 2-2.
Yep. Finish off the armory as well. Meanwhile, S.Taeja's doing similar damage up in Polt's base.
Yeah, elevating
Looks like
Marines up into Polt's main, doing a bunch of damage, killing some supply depots as well as production facilities.
Yep. Polt's drop still going strong though, taking out some more reactors. So they're gonna get cleaned up by one last siege tank here. Oh, not quite. 5 remain. S.Taeja's still supply
coming
blocked.
in. Now they're going to clean them up. Meanwhile, S.Taeja is pushing in and doing more damage up in Polt's main. Polt has his Marines here ready to counter it though, and he is going to clean it up finally. A little bit of an almost mini base race we just had, just with a large drops worth of Marines on each side.
Yeah, the difference being Polt kept his engineering bay. At least one of them. Oh, he kept both of them, I guess.
Well, he only needs one now, he already has 3-3. Whereas S.Taeja is now stuck on 2-2 for a while. S.Taeja sieging up on Polt's defensive planetary outside his line.
Yep, using the Viking vision to just take free shots at it.
While Polt's army is moving along the west, moving south now. There's a few of S.Taeja's forces here. They both stem up, charge into each other. S.Taeja's tanks siege up a little bit late. Polt's able to take the victory fairly easily. His Marine count is very low in this force, though.
Yep, both players
7
making
tanks.
only Marines and tanks in production right now.
Now S.Taeja elevatoring his force up into Polt's main again. 3 tanks siege there now, 2 more on the way. Not quite being
Polt
dropped
pushing
yet.
it. Cleaning up most of the defensive forces. He's going to take out the tech lab on one of the factories, and that factory by the looks of it.
Yep, destroying some of S.Taeja's forward production facilities. Meanwhile, S.Taeja's push, continuing to just control Polt's main, sieging it. Production facilities, supply depots, even the main orbital, all being damaged.
Yep. Polt's
Might be
tanks
going
live
down.
taking pot shot. Oh, unsieging. Moving out with his army to the Zelnaga Tower.
Polt has stopped pushing into S.Taeja's main corner, and that force is moving over east. Now Polt is sitting at 137 to S.Taeja's 131.
Polt has 16 tanks to S.Taeja's 11, and 17 Marines to S.Taeja's 21. Oh, never mind, 23 to 21.
Now Polt's starport is going to get just one more Viking out before lifting. Now his Vikings are coming in to clean up the medevacs of S.Taeja's. Taking that air control, trying to limit their ability to siege, but ultimately Polt has nothing to contest these tanks on the ground for now.
Yep, and he's
They can
supply
siege
blocked
their own
from
vision.
losing supply depots. He's at 151 out of 148.
Minor exchanges also happening in the south. A few tanks and Marines versus a few tanks and Marines.
Yeah, Polt redrawing his defensive line to be between his natural and his main. Or former main. S.Taeja expanding on the northwest and moving his army to take out the northwest corner.
Yep,
currently
big
held
line
by a
of
planetary.
S.Taeja's units heading up in that direction. A few tanks siege up in range of the planetary fortress.
Yep, taking free shots at
Polt
it again.
pulls his SCVs. Now they're going for the repair. And the SCVs are being decimated by the tanks now.
Polt
does
moving
not
his army
have...
to defend.
Yeah, Polt doesn't have anything to defend this right away. His army is making its way over. But these SCVs getting very well decimated.
Yeah, Polt also moving his army that was in the south up into the north again.
Polt moves in. TSL stems up, takes an early advantage, but there's too many tanks, so he runs away. Tried to catch the tanks on siege, but there's just too many of them. And they weren't too late when sieging.
Right now, TSL's on 2 mining bases, Polt is on 1.
TSL finally gets that orbital command. SCVs repairing each other while taking siege tank fire. Not the greatest position to be in. Now, Polt has taken air dominance with his Vikings, killing off some more of TSL's medevacs. Supplies are very even. Polt at 137, 137, TSL at 138. TSL not supply block though, he's at 138 out of 180.
Yeah, TSL's army is yet again split though, on both sides of Polt's.
Now TSL has some Vikings of his own. Killed one of Polt's Vikings, taking air dominance on one of the fronts here.
Polt picks up some Marines, drops them on top of these 4 siege tanks, stay on siege.
And then he moves in with other
the rest of his Marines.
tanks.
Yep. Well, at least TSL's army is no longer split. Half of it just died.
Now TSL healthily mining at 2 locations, he also has a 3rd available. Polt on the other hand just mining at 1 location, and those mineral fields are getting low.
Oh, TSL deciding that he doesn't want to fight over this position, moving the command center and all of his SCVs out. Same with his 3rd you were talking about, saying they're getting pushed away by a single Marine, just because there's nothing to defend it there. It's queued to land over here, but it's going to run into a 2nd Marine.
Meanwhile, Polt's army now pushing towards the center. TSL has a bunch of Marines transferring through the center. He stems up to get away and avoids taking any siege tank shots. Loses just a few to Polt's Marines. Both sides have disengaged. Polt now moving down south, continuing to push. TSL sieges up on the high ground, has an advantageous siege position, gets a bunch of shots off. Takes a few shots of his own, loses 1 tank, 2 others just have a sliver of health left.
TSL started mining at what is now his 2nd mining base in the southeast.
SCVs come up to repair a couple of TSL's tanks. Also 2 more tanks arrive. Once again setting up a siege line standoff.
Both players basically mining at 1.5 bases. But TSL has 5 mules going at his 2nd. So he's up at 1,600 minerals per minute.
Yeah, Polt has re-established that northwest position. TSL knows about it with a scout SCV. Meanwhile, TSL has somewhat saturated, well, not really saturated, but he's dropped a bunch of mules at that southeast location. He has a few SCVs there too.
TSL currently holding a supply lead of about 30 over Polt.
Yeah, 175 to 145.
Moving away from the middle of the map up to the north.
And once again, Polt supply block. That's 145 out of 145. Although now TSL's 180 out of 180. Polt moves up here, catches a few of TSL's Marines out of position. Both sides then disengage though. Polt unsieges to continue moving. He starts moving north, trying to stop this drop, which has once again shut down Polt's northwest expansion. His Marines arrive and clean this up quickly. And his command center lands back and his SCVs go back to work mining.
TSL repositioning his army to where he's hoping to take a 3rd, I think. Or get a third.
Both our enemies heading towards each other once again. Near Taeja's fourth. Polt now pulling back. Now in the upgrade department, Polt maintains an advantage of +3, 3-0 versus 1-0 for his tanks. Although Taeja is working on that, getting +2. And also, with regards to Marines, it is still 3-3 versus 2-2. Although Taeja does have +3 weapons well on the way.
Oh, Vikings grab a free medvac. Polt still has 4 siege tanks just sieged up right on top of his factories, kind of odd.
Now Polt moves in with 4 Vikings, the largest group of Vikings we've seen yet, and pushes back Taeja, kills one of them. Polt is slowly pushing forward with his tanks.
Taeja is maxed.
Using the Vikings for that range advantage. Catching a few of Taeja's tanks.
Taeja remuling his base with another 5 mules.
Also stemming up a small group of Marines up here towards Polt's northwest expansion. Catching a couple SCVs, then also catching a tank that's just out of position here. Now the Marines go to work once again on the SCVs, and now they're attacking the command center. Polt's Marines do come in here to clean it up, and his SCVs return to repair the command center or the orbital command and go back to work.
Yep, meanwhile it has been TVT from the beta days, just Vikings sitting over siege tanks that are out of range of one another.
Taeja now taking the air advantage in the middle with 4 of his own Vikings.
Yep, Taeja's maxed again, or still.
And catches
a ton of mules.
Caught 3 of Polt's tanks trying to move up. Taeja is maxed, Polt's at 174.
Yeah, Taeja actually banking up, which is a great thing to be doing when the map is very nearly mined out. So basically, each player has 1 mining base, and there's 1 unclaimed base on each side of the map. Taeja looking to re-expand to the one on the west side. Dropping some Marines.
Taeja has 6 Vikings standing right above Polt's tanks, and Polt is now stemming some Marines to move into those Vikings. The Marines kill 3 of the Vikings fairly quickly.
Massive Marine push onto some tanks and medvacs on the west side. And Taeja's moving once again to Polt's only mining base.
Yep, a lot of Marines stem up to move in on this northwest base. It lifts right away and tries to run away, but it will not get away from that number of stemmed Marines. It goes down very quickly.
Yeah, Polt pulling most of his army other than the tanks. But I don't think he has quite enough to deal with this.
Tries to engage into it, but Taeja has the advantage with these tanks sieged, ready to receive Polt's Marines. And Taeja's Marines are substantially outnumbering it. And
yep,
Polt
GG's out. Very long game. It was very, very tense. It's like you were saying at the end of the first game. It really does remind me of the beta days where you just have the tanks sieged everywhere and nobody wanting to engage.
Yeah, World War I style combat, TVT.
Cold War style combat.
Yeah, not that standoffish.
Yet.
Yeah, Polt had the positional and strategic disadvantage for much of the game there, but had some superior engagements and had that massive upgrade advantage, which allowed him to stay in it, but ultimately Taeja was just able to continue pushing his economic advantage and took it.
Yeah, they were both fighting for basically having 1 or 2 mining bases at the end there, but Taeja was doing a much better job of using just like 1 drop when the armies were off standing, staring at one another, and just using a couple Marines to force that mining to stop.
Yeah, and in the mini base trade situation where they both had, gotten drops into the other bases, he did substantially more damage. I mean, what the damage Polt did during that was that he forced Taeja to be stuck on 2-2 upgrades,
Yeah.
whereas TSL destroyed much of Polt's production. As well as supply depots, which Polt was not quick to rebuild. He was supply capped frequently. There you have it. So on to game 3 as they're both now 1-1.